Greetings, family. Today's discussion is going to be about a word that I've heard thrown around a lot lately. Um, a lot of people use this word when they are talking about behavior. I think people often apply this word to objects and not behavior. But I decided to do a little experiment today. I wanted to see if you all would be able to hear me without seeing me. So I just want us to really think about what this word means, how it applies to you, how you utilize it in your daily activities, how you utilize it in your behaviors toward others, and is it good to be this way all the time? The word, if you haven't guessed it by now, is transparency. Generally, this word is uh, a Latin word that means to see beyond or through. That's the root of the word, trans. And then the pair, P-A-R-E-R-E, means to appear. And ent, E-N-T, is the suffix. And that suffix makes it an adjective. And that is how we end up applying it to behaviors. It is a way to describe a behavior. Now, this word has become popular, I guess, more popular in the last couple of years with companies. You hear it in the sciences, you hear it in engineering, business, humanities. And now we use it more in social context, right? Like you'll even hear maybe couples use it toward each other, right? Like, you need to be transparent. You need to disclose any little facts about yourself that I don't know. Like, I shouldn't have to guess these things. So when we apply transparency to people that we encounter, it is to get folks to operate in a way that is easy for others to see. What actions are being performed? Um, it implies openness, communication, and accountability, right? Like I said, it's practiced in companies, organizations, administrations, and community type organizations. And so, of course, when I hear this word, I'm like, okay, I asked you all a bunch of questions in the beginning. So I have to say, are African leaders transparent? Are our leaders transparent? Are YouTubers transparent? Right? Um, or are they self-serving? Now, I read a report recently about the president's wife in Sierra Leone. I don't know how many of you saw that, but there was this big scandal that, this sister was living extravagantly off the people, which is, kind of heartbreaking for a lot of folks because I don't know, I went to Sierra Leone and I see a bunch of hardworking people. So to think that somebody is taking dollars that should be given to the people and improving their communities and living off the high horse, as we say in the States, was almost shameful. I don't even know if that issue was even resolved, but when I heard it, I was just like, wow, you know. I think that is maybe a direct example, but we know stuff like that goes on here in the States, right? So much money from the people goes to building weapons and war, preparing for war, right? Instead of really caring for the folks like in Texas that are freezing. There was a sister that posted a video showing that nothing was being done to help them. people are waking up to finding dead people frozen in their vehicles and not having enough heat. Like people are just not prepared. So it brings us back to the topic. Like a, I can't even just, it's been difficult for me because I was like, I don't know if this is something we need to talk about, but I do think we need to talk about it because I keep hearing the word and I'm not sure that everyone understands the word exactly, that they are using it in a way that is productive. Um, I will let you all decide by the time we get to the end of this video. So I was looking at a brother, let's see, his name was Roberto Blake, right? And Roberto talked about, I think he was describing how to improve your YouTube channel, things that make your YouTube channel catchy, little things like that. And since I'm new to this, I always look to learn from other people. And he just really seems to know what he's doing. He's in different venues, so I figured this was a good person to listen to. But while he was talking, someone in the chat was being difficult, and the moderators were dealing with this individual. And he just kind of stopped everything, and he said, "You know what? Whoever that is, like whatever negative individual that is, like I want to address you." He says he likes to believe that there are 99% good people in the world and that 1% that make things difficult. And I thought that was interesting because I don't know if I've ever really thought of it like that. I think that most people are good, but they become bad when they start to do things that are low vibration, right? So Roberto started talking and he started showing like all of the analytics on his channel. Like he's like, I have nothing to hide. He said most YouTubers don't do this, but I'm willing to show this. Now he said, I'm not going to show you everything, but I'm going to show you this because I feel like this will be educational and that you can learn from this. And what he basically said was, he has nothing to hide. He said that transparency is how you vet people. And for those of you who don't know what vet means sort of like a clearance, if you will, right? Like a way to decide whether people are legitimate, if you will, right? Um, he said when he does things, he doesn't make false promises. What he's saying to people and what he's doing is are things that he's experienced in his own life. He's gone through the process, he's gone through these steps, and he's sharing them with other people. He talked about figuring out what information you need, and that reminds me of how I always say, chew the fish, spit out the bones. You take the information that you can get that is valuable to you and you move on. And, we have to think in terms of when we're listening to YouTubers, when we're listening to our leaders or people that we believe are doing righteous work, do we want them to be fully transparent? Or do we have so much trust in people that we allow them to make errors without supporting them? And is it our fault when things go south, right? Are we supposed to be able to come together in a way that we are able to support each other? Or do we blame people for not being transparent, right? There are ways that you can become more transparent, right? And it can be pain-free. And that involves honesty and accountability and openness, right? And Sometimes you just need a strategic long-term goal, creating a clear plan, right? As some companies call it, open data, dumping information that is useful so that if people want to access that information, they can, and it will answer any questions they have. Um, Sometimes having feedback, right? Constructive criticism is helpful. I mean, this transparency thing is so serious that there's even an organization for this, right? I'm serious. Like, there is an organization on the continent called Transparency International, the global coalition against corruption. And that just kind of blew my mind because I'm like, wait a minute. Are we talking about how transparency relates to Africa? Or are we just looking at how transparency relates to individuals? And it seems to be across the board. I know sometimes when I come on to speak, I think about that I'm being transparent, right? Because, I'm in front of the camera, I'm letting you see me, but am I really letting you peek into the windows of my life, or am I just giving you a glimpse? So today I decided to do this video, do this podcast with just the idea of what transparency is supposed to be about. And I'll leave you with those words, and you can decide if transparency is a behavior that you exhibit, or if it's not. And they say the opposite of transparency is secrecy and ambiguity. Just some food for thought, people.